What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. Earlier today I did a pre-market video, went over some of the data points, initial jobless claims, and whatever else. Now the market is closed. I'll give you a quick summary of what truly happened, what shorts did, and everything that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, Lucid did close in the red 0.82%, $3.58 the low, $3.79 the high. So basically once the market did open. Kind of high volume, so 32.7 million shares being traded, 35 is the average, but majority of the volume did come from shorts as well as algorithmic trading. And it wasn't necessarily just Lucid for that circumstance, a lot of stocks. And that's why you did have this sell-off across the board, because again, algorithmic trading was making up for the majority of the volume. Even in Lucid's case, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So ever since the 50 basis point cut yesterday, you had a hell of a lot of selling occurring with Lucid. So not necessarily the best. And then these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So dark pool, oddly, was non-existent today. So that is very, very weird. Shorts did increase a significant amount, but it wasn't large transactions. It was rather small ones. So once again, going back into the whole algorithmic trading. So clearly market makers had their little bots working overtime for the most part, because yeah, shorts really doubled down. So I'm going to go over that in a second. Data point wise, I did bring this up in the pre-market, but initial jobless claims came in at 219 versus 230. So generally very good data, and that's what fueled a lot of optimism. And right now the fear and greed index is under the greed category, so people's appetite for risk is very much there. But I've actually had some comments on Twitter just asking like, hey, if the market's so optimistic, we just had a 50 basis point cut, potentially even more for the November 7th and also December 18th meetings, why is Lucid going down? And my explanation for that is simply, I know a lot of people, I kind of went back and forth a little bit when I did bring that up 2 videos ago about it being its own worst enemy. Honestly, dilution and potentially lack of demand, and I guess just lack of transparency fully with the Gravity. They keep giving hints, but I think right now the market wants definitive dates and prices and whatever else. But going back to it, dilution, I get it. I'm not going to go into those 2 executives that just received roughly combined 1.4 million shares. Some people deserve it, and yes, I agree, you need to keep skilled labor, but Lucid, like their last quarter of all deliveries will go towards those 2 employees. So that's not even counting operational losses. So they need to dilute associated to that. So think about that, that you have to produce 10 times as much vehicles to pretty much just pay these bonuses off. It's a losing game. So in reality, they definitely do need to change that. Because like I said, the market is not really valuing Lucid as a good long-term investment. And it's very apparent. You can always follow this. I like to follow, like, no matter what people chatter out there, there's a lot of just pumpers in Lucid. No offense to a lot of people on social media and Twitter. A lot of people just, hey, like this is going up, just buy the dip, keep averaging down. Honestly, I invest without emotion. And to be fully honest, so does big money. And this is why I bring this up time and time again. It might seem kind of repetitive, but if you're seeing big institutions selling, there has to be a reason why. Why do you think Lucid is not getting attention from big money? It is because there is red flags. Some people purposefully ignore those red flags. And my apologies for this rant on this channel and just all my channels in general. I like to educate as best as possible. So yes, I go through the data points, but I feel like this is a good example of you need to be more self-aware of good, bad, and the ugly of whatever stock you're investing in. So if there is negatives, you have to acknowledge that and own it, right? So own the fact that Lucid is diluting, possibly demand issues, and many, many things like that, right? And plus, if the market is really starting to think about a recession, do you think people are going to be out there buying like $80,000, $90,000 vehicles? Maybe. So again, a lot of that is really influencing Lucid, but no actual news from Lucid itself today, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. But like I mentioned already, you did have shorts really doubling down. So I don't know, at this stage, Peter must have really pissed off the wrong person from the get-go, because throughout this whole time period, you have shorts just doubling the hell down. So 30.24% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 271.19 million shares overall are being shorted. They did increase 3.23 million shares. So this is crazy, absolutely crazy. Again, it could be Peter that pissed someone off, or maybe it's just the elephant in the room, the PIF. I think that whoever, someone doesn't like someone at Lucid, whether it be Peter, whether it be Elon doing it, whether it be someone targeting the PIF to try and get them down. I'm not really sure, but coming from an investor standpoint, it's kind of frustrating. Looking at options though, very, very low volume, dollar value getting in. So it's 536,000 in calls, 473,000 in puts. Sentiment wise, 47% of all the options today were bearish. And of the call options that were purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly between that 350 and 4. And then looking at the puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub 350. So you don't really see that much optimism when it comes down to Lucid. So no matter what though, options doesn't necessarily move the stock price. It is just merely a statement. But right now with it at $3.61, it is trading between these 2 points, so the S1 and the pivot. So $3.52 will be a strong support. Wasn't really tested today, so that's kind of a positive, but still going forward into the next couple of trading days, definitely watch for that to be held. Flip side, $3.79 is that next strong resistance / target. That seems to have been the cap for the most part with Lucid. Even when it came down to pre-market, that's kind of where it was kind of bouncing off of for the most part. So again, kind of just watch for that to be the next strong target. On the actual chart itself, if shorts do continue to double down, then most likely that 50-day moving average will be tested tomorrow. And we already know exactly what that does mean. If it breaks below that, kind of all hell breaks loose a little bit. So definitely just watch for that to be the saving grace. So hopefully it does hold on. On stochastic, you do see a bearish deviation, so red line above the white, but it is at 37. So arguably a little bit oversold in that regard. A number of retail investors, even in their capacity, haven't really been buying the dip. And I get it, there's a lot of people in the comments that say they buy every week, every day, and whatever, but based on this, as a consensus, people are not really buying. Same goes for bigger institutions. So let me know your thoughts on why you are not buying Lucid based on the 50 basis point cut. And as well, future cuts as well anticipated. Like, why are you guys holding back? Do you feel some sort of red flags possibly, or are you just worried more so on a macro event? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account. They do give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.